Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Other Side of Addiction. This episode is brought to you by some really good friends of ours, Gregory and Tasha, with Lift Up Concrete out of Kaysville. If you guys got sunken or settled concrete, I highly recommend you guys give them a call. As far as I'm concerned, and being in the concrete business myself, they are probably the best concrete lifting company that's in the valley. And we'll probably be out at this show will air, it'll already be too late. I was going to mention the home garden show, but by the time this airs, the home garden show will be gone and gone. Anyway, I am your host, Al Richards, and I am here with my lovely wife, Jeananne Richards. Thanks,
Hello,
babe, for
guys.
being here with me.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it. Hey, we have a special guest here with us today, so Kendall Glines. So, Kendall, thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here and just have a good conversation and share my story a little bit. And hopefully it can help somebody else that's struggling. So.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to. That's what's really fun about doing this show, and also very rewarding is getting a message out and helping other people. Jeananne was just on a text with an individual who has watched one of the shows, and they actually reached out to her and said, "Man, I'm so proud of you." And she actually hit 14 months sober on February 9th.
Yesterday, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So Kendall, gosh, you and I, we met at, I think it was at a BNI event umpteen years ago. It was like 7 or 8, maybe 9 years ago.
Absolutely, yeah. So I started in BNI. I'm on my 9th or 10th year, right?
Wow.
Right in there. So it was shortly after that we met, and kind of kept connected throughout the years, off and on, and it's been an awesome friendship. So
yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Every once in a while we run into each other at other networking groups, but it's been a while on that. But So now, I don't even know if I know this. Were you raised here in Salt Lake?
I was, yeah. Oh, actually in American Fork.
Oh, okay.
Born and raised in American Fork. Continue to still live in American Fork. We've tried multiple times to get out and start fresh and new, and we've always been drawn back to American Fork, which is kind of an interesting point to that is with my addiction and with a lot of other addictions, it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to find what you're looking for.
Oh yeah.
And,
for sure.
We moved to Montana, we moved to Vernal, we moved to Wendover, we moved multiple places, and it was an issue at every one of those places eventually. It worked for a little while, would help to get clean for a little while in each one of those places, but in the end result, it was always you find what you're looking for.
Yep.
Yeah,
So.
and I like how you said that. It doesn't matter where you go, because it is everywhere, and it also doesn't really matter what kind of home life you came from as well, because
Absolutely not.
yeah, we've had people that's come from a caring and loving family where family means everything, and I love yous and proud of yous, and we've had other people on the show where basically they could just run the muck and do whatever they want because their parents were too busy doing their own thing. And we've had other people for like middle class where maybe their parents broke up or whatever, but their mom or their dad did the best to raise them, but there was still something missing.
Absolutely.
But,
There's no immunity for any of us with addiction. It's 100% choice.
Yeah. So speaking of families and that, so what kind of family life did you grow up in?
So I grew up in an LDS family.
Okay.
I was the youngest of 6. My oldest brother just retired, so that gives you the age difference of between me and my brother. I just turned 50 this year, so another milestone in life, I guess.
Well,
Luckily, I'm lucky. Like so many people say, I can't believe I made it to 50.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
We're
here, and it's like, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse.
Definitely.
So good LDS family. Good upbringing. Dad was an engineer of of several statures. He's a chemical engineer.
Wow.
Civil engineer. He's just a super smart guy. Just great guy. Mom was raised in a little town in southern Utah called Tokerville.
Tokerville.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
Yeah, I
Tokerville.
just drove past Tokerville Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were raised on a farm. Absolutely had nothing growing
Wow.
up. She was, they were dirt poor. Grandpa dry farmed up on Smith's Mesa, and so she's she's very resilient.
Yeah.
And she's still alive. Dad passed away a few years ago. Mom's 90.
Wow.
And,
That's a huge
and doing
milestone.
good. So,
Good.
That's really good.
yeah. So yeah, it was a interesting childhood, being the youngest of 6, and
Yeah.
and Mom and Dad were pretty well done with kids by the time I came around.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So, but they did a great job there. They're good parents. So
We were talking on our show earlier that there is no owner manual when it comes to being parents.
oh
We all do the best we can, and we take things from our parents. We take what we want to take, and then we get rid of and kind of alter what we think it should be, but still that doesn't mean that's right.
That's not
But
right
we do the
either,
best
yeah.
that we can, and Janan came from a large family.
I came
as
from
well.
6 kids also.
okay
Yeah.
I was the second to the youngest,
okay
and my mom always wanted 6 kids.
okay.
She wanted to have 6 kids. She regrets it afterwards, but
Yeah.
I mean, not the kids or anything, but just that her life changed for her a lot. So
Yeah.
it wasn't what she thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
but yeah. So I get what you're saying. And my younger sister, was 4 years later than me, which is the biggest gap difference
mm-hmm.
from one sibling to the other. My brother was the oldest, and between my youngest sister and my oldest brother, there's 13 years.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
That's quite the gap.
I relate to that part.
So-
of it.
So
Yeah.
back in those
Probably
days
most
in
of them.
American Fork, you were probably just like me growing up in West Jordan, where there wasn't as many homes and stuff probably like there is now, right? Probably like a lot of farmland
oh my
and
gosh. So, yeah,
running the muck and
we our house was on the wrong side of the tracks,
Oh.
if you will.
all right.
Our house was on the south side of the freeway. In those times, there was one street that ran east and west. The Boat Harbor Road. We were the last house, with the exception of some couple farmhouses,
Mhm.
between the lake and
Holy cow.
and town. So I spent a lot of time down in the ditches in Utah Lake and
Yeah.
hanging out with the transients and people. Just we'd go down there and hang out for 3 or 4 days in the summer and come home, Mom, hey, we're finally back. And so,
Wow.
so young, we went and did a lot of fun, a lot of fishing, a lot of shooting whatever we shot, and
Yeah. Well, probably a lot of pheasants because
Oh,
there was a ton of pheasants in
was-
this valley back in those days.
yeah. Mom would get really mad at me for shooting pheasants out my bedroom window out on the back lawn
Yeah.
with the 22. So yeah, it was good times back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It is good times. So,
Yeah.
I mean, because I was brought up in an LDS family, Janan was brought up in an LDS family, and we've had some other guests that have come on basically the same way. I mean, because it's, that's it used to be
Dominant.
the dominant religion here in Salt Lake. It's not as much anymore, but it's still quite a bit. But I'm sure you were probably active. Were you active up until a certain age and then?
I was, yep,
Yeah?
yeah, until about 11 or so, about 11, 12, right in there. Kind of where my path took a different turn a little bit, yeah. So actually, my scout leader at the time owned a body shop. So I guess we should preface what I do now, as I own a body shop.
Right.
I own my own shop, Lone Peak Collision Repair. We're in Midvale, just off State Street, Midvale. Yeah. So anyway, 12-year-old kid with nothing to do in the afternoons. I started hanging out in the body shop and sweeping floors and emptying garbages and whatnot. And so that started me on the path that I'm on now.
Yeah.
And also on a little bit darker path. So. So back in those days, the body shop culture was pretty rough. It was a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking pot, a lot of
sounds like the construction business.
Similar. Yeah. It's not. We've spent the last 20 years or so really trying to build the professionality of the body shop industry. We're just now getting to the point where we're a professional business, and people don't look at us like, oh, you dirty body man, you dirty painter.
Yeah.
That stigma. So started sweeping floors and emptying garbage cans in the body shop, and just was around the alcohol, around the smoking pot, and it was just part of the day. Yeah. It wasn't, it was just something that happened all, constantly, from day to day.
Yeah. Kind of like what happened to me when I started working construction. I mean, we would smoke a joint when we got up, smoke a joint going to work, smoke a joint at lunch, smoke a joint on the back to the warehouse, smoked a joint on the way home, then smoked more when we got home. Right?
Yeah, similar. Yeah. And then add a lot of tequila and beer and miscellaneous between that. So that's kind of how I got my start in the world of. Let me shut this off. Sorry, guys.
Okay, no worries. You can set it on the table if you like.
Hopefully it just doesn't ring anymore. Okay. Interruptions. Gosh, what the heck? We're having a conversation here.
Yeah, we're having a good conversation. Yeah.
So that's how I grew up my teenage years. And it was just normal. It wasn't abnormal. It was just something we did. And it's not anybody's fault or whatever. It was, if one thing I can get across through this whole process is, whatever you do is a choice. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Everything is a choice. Mm-hmm. Whether you get a drink of water, down to the most simple things. Everything, if you can break it down, break your addiction, your life down into choices, and you recognize that it is a choice, you can start to make good choices. So anyway, back to the story.
Yeah, I like that you shared that though. Yeah.
So I manipulated my way through high school,
like many of us.
Yeah. I befriended the auto shop teacher. Just a great guy, Mr. Woodland. Roland Woodland was our high school auto shop teacher, and he could see that the path I was on with cars and the love and that, and just kind of took me under his wing, and that's how I spent my day, was in the auto shop.
Wow.
And got passing grades with the exception of my art teacher and my English teacher. Yeah, that's a whole nother. That's a story for a minute. But that's we'd go to the auto shop and we'd a lot of days we'd have the whiskey with us. We'd have something just mix into our Cokes and start the day drinking.
Wow.
And spend the day in the auto shop and then at least till noon, and then go to work. Go to the body shop and go to work. And There's, I don't know if I would have made it through without the several key people like Mr. Woodland seeing that I had an interest in that. And my dad, I guess, I really need to share my dad. So 12 years old, started sweeping floors in the body shop. He saw that I had an interest in this. So I didn't find this out till I was 25, 26, 27, later.
Yeah.
And he actually paid the shop owner $20 a week to have me there for the first year I was there sweeping floors.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So, that's, I really got to give it to the old man, the insight that he had, and he's just a super, super guy.
Love you.
Well, to see the passion that you had, at such a young age too. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we, there again, we manipulated the high school into letting me go to the trade tech my 11th year instead of typically the only seniors got to go.
Yeah.
So I got to go my 11th year and my 12th grade year. Kind of worked out a deal with them. Instead of going to school, I went right to work. So I got school credit, college credit, and went to work and made money.
Holy cow.
So when I was 18, I was doing good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting good credits. Got involved in the VICA program, and was able to win the national VICA championship in collision repair, side. So it was a cool experience.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah. So VICA's Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. They have a national contest every year, and it's a pretty big deal. My first year that I went, when I was a junior, spent the whole time partying, just having a ball, and then my senior year I got serious and won the contest. So.
Wow.
So in the meantime, all this is happening with drinking and partying and just having a ball.
And probably not even realizing where that was going to take you, right?
Absolutely.
Because we have found that out a lot with some of our other guests. I mean, there's been a few that there was some life tragedies and some different things that happened, and I mean, they were still doing alcohol or drugs or whatever, but
yeah, they
had no clue that 3 or 4 years down the road where it was really going to take them.
Absolutely. That's kind of the path that I led. Got introduced to the heavier drugs, if you will.
Yeah.
And my drug of choice was methamphetamine. So got introduced to that, and it was great because I'm super ADD. The doctor says I'm HD, but I have 80 of them.
Oh. I got it. I like that one.
Yeah. So I'm a lot that way, and in my brain the meth helped speed the brain up enough to where it worked for my process, which was totally a mistake. It was definitely not.
Yeah.
Not looking back, it was like, oh man,
what the hell?
What the hell are you doing? Yeah.
Your mic. I was just going to ask if you could bring your mic a little closer, babe.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Spent way too many years with the meth addiction. Raising my wife, who I love dearly. We're still married, which
Nice.
27 years.
Wow.
We've been married. 2 boys, 25 and 23. 22, I guess he's 22. So many miracles along the way that have happened to keep our family together. My parents, who were the best and the worst. Them enabling us to do certain things, use,
yeah,
and also being there to pick up the pieces when it was a shamble. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yes, it is.
Do you help your kids, or do you enable them? It's a super fine line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely homeless for a while. We lived up at trailer park up Provo Canyon. In a little trailer with wife and 2 little kids, and just put those boys through hell.
So you was what, your last year at the technical college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of where the methamphetamines kind of started
yeah,
happening between there. Now, did you meet your wife there at school, or was this something that kind of happened after you got out of school? Or because sometimes we've had people come on where they met one another at a party,
Yeah.
and the addiction kind of goes into a couples type addiction, because they're having fun with each other
Right.
and enjoying each other, So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, is that kind of how your path went, or?
No, we actually met back in those days. We cruised,
Yeah, Cruise State
Cruise
Street, or
State
the main
Street,
drag,
yeah.
right?
cruised,
Yeah.
we cruised American Fork. And
Yeah.
that was one of the big cruise spots. Is you either go to State Street, you go to American Fork, or you go to Spanish Fork. That was the cruise spots, and she's from American Fork also. She's
Okay.
4 years younger than I am, but yeah, we actually met cruising American Fork.
Wow.
So
You were the
yeah.
guy with the frickin' badass car?
No, I was the
No?
I was the drunk guy in the passenger seat. Honestly.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But I did, growing up in the body shop, I did have a pretty sweet 72 short bed 4-wheel drive that was
Wow.
it was a beautiful truck. It was definitely one of a kind. So yeah, so that's how we met. She was 18, I was 22, and she graduated in May, and we got married in August.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was it's been a hell of a ride ever since.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you guys met and you got married. Did she know at the time that what was going on? Because again, I've even listened to other podcasts where you hear couples where they got married and they had no clue. I mean, even when I was doing my partying on Friday and Saturday night, so I was doing coke and drinking, and she knew I was drinking, but she didn't have any clue that I was doing the other thing.
Right, absolutely not. She, I hid it from her for as long as I could.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how long did that go before she finally started realizing something was going on?
It was quite a while. Yeah, it was quite a while. It was probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years.
Wow, that is a
Yeah,
while. Holy cow, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she had more of an idea than I'm ever gonna realize. She probably knew right off the bat, and I'm just giving myself.
Yeah.
I'm just buffaloing myself.
Buffaloing
even today.
yourself, yeah.
Even today, she probably knew.
Yeah.
That's part of the addiction thing. I'm getting away with this. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, from the outside looking in, it's unfortunate how easy it is to spot and see, and if you're struggling, it's you're really not hiding it from anybody.
Yeah.
You may be a good actor, but especially those of us who've been through it.
Yeah.
And I see people like that now, and it just breaks my heart.
Yeah. It does mine too.
Yeah, to see what they're going through, and wishing you could just go up and give them a big hug and say, hey,
it's gonna be okay.
make some better choices, because everything is a choice. So
Yeah.
Did you want to say something, Vic?
I was just gonna say that Hal thought he was hiding it from me when we first got together, but it didn't take me long to realize. But it was more because I had been around it, like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He died of a heroin overdose.
Oh wow.
And so, and then I have friends that have done it in the past,
Yeah.
And so I know what it's like when you walk out of the room and come back in, and walk out of the room and come back in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, But I mentioned it to him as soon as I found out, because that's just because I have been around it, and I have very strong feelings about the harder drugs because of my father passing away.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, and I did. I lied about it. No, everything's good. I think at one time I did tell her, but yeah.
You did, because
Yeah.
it was like our first New Year's together, and
Yeah.
we went over to your friend's house.
Yeah, I went over to a friend's house, yeah, and he offered a little, and it was too hard to
and
say
I could
no.
tell what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
But then you ended up lying to me about it after that.
yeah, yeah.
He said you wouldn't do it ever again.
Yeah.
Well, and like you were saying, you said that, you think you're hiding it, and you think you're doing really well. We had Trisha Bateman on our show, who is actually Janan's sponsor.
Okay.
And she was a guest on our show, and she was telling us just a couple weeks ago that it was her grandkid's birthday, and she got up and she's having her drink and she's on the treadmill and she's trying to come up with excuses why she can't go, but she ends up going, and she goes there and she thinks she's doing just fine, and then she ended up seeing a video of it, if I'm not mistaken, and she was like, that's how I was acting? I mean, because she thought she was pulling it off.
Right.
But then when she saw herself in the video, and it would be like Janan, when I'd say, hey, are you drinking? She'd be like,
Nope.
no. And I'm like, so why are you slurring your words? I'm tired.
Yeah.
Well, no, you've been tired before. You don't slur your words when you're tired.
Yeah.
Well, she is today, but, and then, of course, I lived my life. That's how I fell into being addicted to her addiction, is I was doing everything I could to catch her, to prove myself right that she was
Absolutely.
doing it. So did you
Got
kind of find...
obsessed with it.
Oh, I was obsessed. Oh, yeah, 100%
Yeah.
obsessed. Did you kind of start finding that out in your relationship as time went?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I definitely say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, how hard was it? Of course, your wife would probably have to answer that, but was it tough for you, Kendall, when your wife started finally figuring it out, that something was going on, or you were using, or whatever, and especially with you, I'm sure you had kids already,
Yeah.
right, during that time?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah, I was right in the heart of the boys and whatnot. Yeah, it definitely complicates a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It definitely live two lives. That's there's the her life and your life are so different that that's a lot of why people split when there's an addiction involved.
Yeah.
Is the the other side loses hope, loses just finally gives up, and that's something my wife never did. She never gave up, never even when the really dark days came, with most addictions, when you run out of money, you figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that ends up, you end up peddling it. You find a way to get your fix.
Yeah,
whether it's
stealing or lying or whatever, huh?
Selling,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
and with that, for me came jail time. Spent a lot of the people I was with, which why I and one of those miracles is most of the people that I was hanging with ended up doing some federal prison time. I luckily only got to go to the county jail. Never went to prison, which is a miracle. Never did significant time, I guess, comparatively.
Yeah.
My longest stint I was sentenced to a year, and was lucky enough to do that with the work release. So absolute miracle why I didn't end up with felonies and in prison, in federal prison, and with a way worse situation that I had.
Was your jail time because of possession, or was it because of dealing?
Never. It was all little.
Just the little stuff kind of build up.
The little stuff. Never got a possession charge. Why, I don't know.
Yeah.
I should have multiple. Like I say, that's one of the little miracles that it was always driving on suspension, adding this, just all the stacking up the little things.
Yeah.
That finally added up to, okay, well, we know what you're doing. We can't prove it. So we're going to sentence you to a year in jail. So, and the jailers down there kept giving me a hard time because I was constantly in and out of jail.
Yeah.
In and out. And one time the jailer says, you've been here 26 times. What?
Wow.
I'm like, oh, that's more than anybody in the last 5 years. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep this up? You're going to, there's a good jailer that befriended me, Deputy Randolph, big, burly, black guy. He was one of the best guys that I could have in my life at that time.
Huge heart, huh?
Yeah, just a great guy. And he'd call me a dump truck and call me this and call me, you stupid dump truck, he would say. And he was a great guy at the time for me to have, around. And so jail was good for me. It was.
Is that why you went 26 times?
Apparently.
So much.
Apparently.
I had to throw that in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that's it was it was colorful. I was doing my best to get myself locked up for a long time. Yeah.
So it just basically ended up being a part of life, right? I mean, heck,
yeah.
If you didn't even realize you had been in that many times,
I didn't.
Just like, hey, this is how life goes. This is where things are taking me, right?
Yeah. So the cycle was, I'd get thrown in jail. My wife would work tirelessly with public defenders, with people outside to get me out.
Yeah.
And she would do it. She's a saint. She would do that over and over, and never gave up. Just constantly taking care of my little butt.
Wow, man, I tip my hat to your wife, because when Janan started getting thrown in jail, it hurt me there for a bit, and then I just started getting so calloused of it that she would end up getting thrown in jail, and I wouldn't even answer her phone calls anymore. And there's been a few times she called just bawling, going, "I've almost gotten a fight, or almost got my ass kicked. Come and get me out." It's like, sorry.
Yeah.
You made your bed. Right. I don't know what to do. And of course I wasn't in a financial position anyway, but I could, if I really wanted to, like what your wife did. I could have fought a little harder probably to get her out, but it just got to the point where I just threw my hands up. And it's not that I didn't not love her anymore or didn't care. It's just that's just where I was at the time.
Yeah. Well, it's and that's the normal. That's the common. That's the society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what society. That's what happens. You know, and it's not wrong. It's you know, I just happened to find a little piece of heaven that.
You found a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, because that's not the normal. That's
Yeah.
you know, that the normal is once or twice and then give up.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Not you guys are still together.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Where would you be if you hadn't gone through all that?
I don't think I'd be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it all happens in time and in the right time.
Yeah.
I like how you said that. It is the right time, you know. And gosh, we should have had your wife come on the show if she would have been willing, because I think it would have been really good, because Janan can connect with you because you guys have been through similar, and I bet your wife and I could have connected because we've been through similar. But
Yeah.
gosh, now where was I going with this? It's just, yeah, it's so, what was so hard for me, and I don't know if your wife felt that way. That's why I was mentioning it would be great to have her on the show to ask her, but it was so hard because as the man of the house, I felt like I could not take care of my wife, that I was failing, you know, that I couldn't help her.
Yeah.
And I've said this many times on the show before, but I argued with one of her therapists once when she was in a rehab, and she's told me, she goes, "There's nothing you can do." And I'm like, "Bullshit, you watch me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." And after failure after failure after failure, and year after year after year, keep trying, and it wasn't happening, I finally realized, I get it now. There is nothing, you know, that I can do, because it has to be their will.
Well, not nothing.
What?
Well,
You just have to.
You still,
Yeah.
you
You're
still
just
love
doing
them.
all the wrong things.
yeah,
Is what
that's
you're saying.
exactly
Yeah.
right. You know, because unlike your wife, where she did everything she could to help you and you get out, you know, I filed divorce 3 times on her, and I canceled it 3 times because something. Well, I won't say something. Higher power, God, He kept me here kept us together there for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I
and-
100% believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was to be where we're at today. That's, I don't know. God knows the plan. I don't.
Absolutely.
But that's how I'm seeing it. Is it led us to this moment right now?
Yeah, recognizing there is a plan is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that you know, and I'm 100% believer that there's a plan. There's a reason why I'm where I'm at, and
It gives huge
you,
hope.
yeah,
to
where
know
you
that.
guys are at. It
Yep.
gives you hope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yep.
you start going
Yep.
back and thinking about where life took you, you know, and a lot of times you forget how you got to the point where you're at. But when you start looking backwards, it's like our good friend Nicholas T. Smith, who talks about, you know, connect the dots backwards instead of forward. And when you start connecting them backwards, you start going, wow, the only reason why I'm here where I'm at is because this dot connected to that dot, that one, and you're looking at the steps backwards.
Yeah.
Because if you do forward, you're missing it. But if you start thinking backwards, you start going, holy crap, I had no clue this was happening in my life at the time. But that's because we've got those blind, you know,
Yeah, absolutely. The
blindfolds
blinders on.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, I would like to talk about where was your aha moment. That's what I'd like to cut, because this is what I think is so flippin' cool when we have guests on the show, is where, you know, and in a, I mean, it's cool to hear about it, but when you hear their story, because some of them came really close to death, and you're just like, you don't want to hear that, you know, somebody lost their life, but
Yeah.
to where they finally looked in the mirror one day and said, okay, something's got to change, you know. So can we talk about that when we come back? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, stay with us, and we will be right back.
Have you ever been in a car accident? Do you know what to do after being in a car accident? Are the insurance companies going to take care of you? Hi, I'm attorney Rick Heaton with the Law Office of Bobby Udall. I will help you through the process and answer all of these questions. I give every single client my cell phone so they can talk to me whenever they need. Let me deal with the insurance company so you can focus on getting better from your injuries. Call me at 385-330-0226. Again, my cell phone number, 385-330-0226. Don't call the insurance company first. Call attorney Rick Heaton at 385-330-0226.
This is Gregory, owner of Lift Up Concrete, proudly serving the Wasatch Front for the last 12 years, lifting sunken flatwork for both residential and commercial applications. Only fully trained professionals lifting concrete at your residence with the same quality of material and method used at every commercial job we ever do. Don't replace it, lift it. liftupconcrete.net, 801-792-4535. Contact us at liftupconcrete.net, or if you're looking for a complimentary quote, 801-792-4535. Again, 801-792-4535. Again, this is Gregory, Lift Up Concrete Lifting.
Hello, my friends. This is Brad Neufeld, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Resilience Talk Network. You can listen to my show, Resilience, every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. On my show, we will be discussing what it takes for you to overcome the day-to-day challenges that all of us face in life, as well as some of the devastating ones that may lead us to feelings of hopelessness and despair. It's my goal to provide you with the tools and skills that you need to overcome anything that is thrown your way. To find out more about my show, visit our website at www.resiliencetalk.com. That's www.resiliencetalk.com. And as always, until we meet again, go for everything that you want in life and make it happen.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Other Side of Addiction. We're here with our special guest, Kendall Glines. Kendall, thank you again so much for being here with us. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm honored to be here and be your guest and talk about my story.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, I love it.
It's definitely different sitting here. It's been a long time since I've got to sit back and contemplate really the path. I don't know that I ever have,
Wow.
before today, sitting back and contemplate the path that I took to get where I'm at. So it's kind of cool. It's
Yeah.
not it's I don't know if cool is the right word. It's
Tripendicular? I don't know.
I think that's probably a better word.
Tripendicular?
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
So.
Well, before we get going again, we want to say thank you to the sponsor of this episode, Lift Up Concrete. Gregory and Tasha, thank you so much for your support and believing in what we do. And again, if you guys got settled or sunken concrete, please look up Lift Up Concrete out of Kaysville. Gregory and Tosh Carlisle, great people, and they are definitely a contractor that is very, very honest. They're not there to pull the wool over your eyes or take advantage of you. They're there to do the best work. So getting into this tripendicular story here.
Something.
Yeah, something. Now, before we get into where your aha moment was at, during the break, Janan brought up that she would like to hear just a little bit more about, what your sons went through. Because I know people that know addiction who have had it around them know it's a family. And again, I don't know, it's like, is it a family disease, or is it just, it hits the family hard. You know, the addiction runs so deep that everybody starts bleeding, basically everybody around you, even friends, you know. So, but when you have young ones, I mean, I couldn't imagine going through what my wife and I went through if there was little ones around. I don't know how I would have been able to handle that, you know, but I'm sure that was really rough on your wife, you know, because she pretty much had to step up to another plate besides stepping up to your plate to help you or do her best to help you. But yeah, I mean, what was it like for your sons that you know of? And I mean, I'm sure an amends have had to come between you guys, because it sounds like you guys got a great relationship now. And
We do.
yeah.
Really, my wife kept us all together. My wife and help from her family, my family, but the majority of the strength came from her. She worked 8 hours a day. Kept the kids in school. We even when we were basically homeless, she kept the kids going to school, to the same school, and we drove from Provo Canyon to American Fork. She did every day, and wherever home was for the night.
Yeah.
She definitely kept the kids as stable as they could be. With that being said, looking back, that's the things that I felt like I put my kids through were, unbearable, unquestionable. We should never have. I felt like I really could have done a lot better job raising them through that period, but that's not how addiction works.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about you. It's all about me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one of the things about addiction is that there comes a point where you really don't care about the people around you. You care about getting high.
Yep.
And that, not having the time, the kids come up to give you a big hug, and it's okay, hug's over. Now I gotta go do what I gotta do. It's not just the little things is what what really got to me, so that's how I feel about the boys, and what we put them through is what I put them through. The kids, I don't know if it made them stronger, but they're both doing great. My oldest son's 25, bought his house at 21. He's got toys and things and stuff, and choices. They're making good financial decisions, and my youngest son's following he's way better with money than I am.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
yeah, I've never been good at money.
No, that's
Yeah.
My philosophy is hurry, we'll make more.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone. Okay, we need to work some more.
Yeah, mine's usually, where the hell is it? I need more.
Yeah,
because I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So.
And we've seen that quite a bit too, where either the mom or the dad or a brother or a sister or whoever it may be, the addiction that's in the family and kids are involved, they either go that same direction or they see so much bad and the pain that it's caused where they're like, I'm not even going to go down that same road. I mean, because we've said before, you didn't start your life out and start getting into, the collision repair and stuff like that, and, smoking pot and that. I mean, your plan wasn't to become an addict. I mean, that wasn't your plan,
no,
right?
no,
You
no.
just kind of going
Yeah.
with life, and it's so it can happen to anyone, and we've had people come on the show who've been on the other side, and they're like, I've never touched anything because it's so dominant in my family. I would have a real great percentage, a high percentage of falling into the same shoes that
Right.
that they have. So in a way, and this may sound weird to a lot of our listeners, but and again, you don't have to agree with me, but in a way, sometimes the addiction, I think, ends up being a blessing.
Oh yeah.
Because how
it
your
can.
kids are right now. Yeah,
Yeah, it can. Yep, there's definitely that side to the addiction. You see somebody struggling so bad, it's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I have
Well,
friends.
and for me, it made me the person I am today. If it wasn't for my addiction, I would never have learned how to love myself and have high self-esteem and all that,
Yeah.
Because I was low before I even started the addiction, so I just got even lower and lower and lower feeling about myself, and so
Yeah.
it was a big help to me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
my kids have learned from what I've gone through, and they were even older, but it still affected them quite a bit, They were pretty much raised and out of the house. My daughter definitely was out of the house, and I think the things that got to them the most is that I wasn't the mom that I used to be, and we lost our relationship, our closeness, because it was just the three of us for many years till I met Al,
Yeah.
and so we lost the closeness of that family relationship, that family unit, and I think that's what they struggle the most with now. But I think they have so learned from my mistakes, In fact, my son just told me that yesterday,
Yeah.
He said, you raised me right, but I also learned from your mistakes how to do it better,
Yeah.
and that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I would say that was the biggest thing that that makes me happy that I went through what I went through, because if they could learn from that, that's all I need
Yeah.
right there, so.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
You were
Yep.
you were getting ready to say that you've had friends. I remember you were saying that.
I've had, I have friends that have kids that watched a little bit of our issues, and talking to them now, it's like, yeah, we saw what you were doing, and we definitely didn't want to make those choices.
Yeah.
So
So as we were talking right before we went to that commercial break, what was that aha moment? Because every guest that we've had on the show, there's something that happens, whether it's a spiritual awakening, or we had one gal out of New Mexico who said she passed by a mirror and looked in the mirror, and she basically all she saw was darkness. It's like there was no color in her eyes anymore. It was just black. And we've had other people who have been just close to death. And, for my wife, she had a spiritual kind of awakening or visitation in jail. What was yours?
it was a little bit of a process for me.
Okay.
Definitely started in jail, attending to the church meetings, getting back into some of the roots that were instilled when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I got out of jail just after Christmas in 2007, and was coming up on New Year's. really felt I was doing good. We're gonna make it through New Year's. I went to a party and got high, and it was like, wow, why the hell did you do that? Why do you want to go backwards? And then a couple of days later, my probation officer calls and says, "Hey, I need to see you." Like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So we go see him, and I had rigged a device to where I could use somebody else's.
Yeah, do a UA with somebody else's urine.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah.
I don't. No.
Yep.
And I'm standing at the toilet, and he's standing next to me and watching me pee, and I'm like, I'm gonna get away with this. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And he ended up violating my probation and went back to jail for another 6 months with work release and stuff, and that was the last time I used. So January 2nd, 2007 was the last year I used, or last time I used. So we just came up on 15 years.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah,
So
that's
So basically it was the trip to the probation officer and failing and just being thrown back in jail where you're like, enough's enough.
Enough's enough. Yeah. Which and the ironic part of that is the body shop business is small. The community is small. So I got out of jail and I tried to find a job, and I gotta mention another some people.
Okay.
Cody Adamson is him and his family, the Adamson family, are just, they help so many people in this situation. He owns a construction company, PLS Construction.
Okay.
Out of Orem. Him and Karen and his mom, and they have bigger hearts than about anybody. And it's not just me, it's so many people on his crew, and non-judgmental, and sure, he'd get upset when we didn't go to work or we didn't do this, but always knew we had a job.
Yeah.
Always provided a way to get through the day, and that's who I worked for through my work release program was Cody. And his company, and just we're still great friends today. So there's so many people like that that I've had in my life that have been a help. So, but he's definitely one of the biggest people.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Kendall, because it takes more than yourself. I mean, it really does. It takes, as kind of like Natalie mentioned earlier, it kind of takes that tribe. To still have people who are there that want to help,
Yeah.
It's hard enough doing what you have to do to get yourself away from that old life, but when you've got somebody that's there for you, I think, or a handful of people that's there for you, because that's one of the things that I really have, now that I've been around it, that's the thing that I really have a hard time dealing with. And it's our judicial system, for number one, because I don't think every addict or person who's struggling with addiction, I don't think jails, all you're doing is putting them deeper into the addiction, as far as I'm concerned, because like Janan's brought up in shows.
The first time I went to jail, I was like, it came out and I told Al, all I ever got in jail is who the best dealer is and where the best drugs are at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about those kinds of things, before.
Absolutely.
So I don't agree with the judicial system, But another thing that really gets me upset is I was one of them as well. So I'm just saying I'm just as guilty. You go downtown or you go around and you see somebody that's high or wasted or whatever, and we put that label on them, okay? Just that's how society is. It's like you're a loser, you can do better than this or whatever, and why don't you go get a frickin' job and get your shit together and get your life going. Then there's that percentage that do exactly that.
Yeah.
They get their shit together. They want a better life. They're tired of living the life that they're living. They try to get back out to society, and then society still throws them to the curb.
Yeah.
Because, oh, you got a
Your
record?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Oh, shit, you were busted for possession, or you had an assault? Well, we don't want you.
Right.
So then we throw them right back out so we can turn around and go, why don't you get a job, you lazy bastard?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's this ping pong.
Yeah.
And I get so sick and tired of seeing this. And one thing that's really opened my eyes, because I've seen it with my wife, she's got 17, 18 years experience in accounts payable. I mean, yeah, she is a little older than some of the new people. She's got that experience, but she can't get a job because of her background.
Yeah.
So she was a loser apparently to some people because she had the addiction.
Right.
And now she's a loser because she can't find a job. Why don't you just get a job?
Yeah.
Well, people like your
Not
friend,
as easy as you think.
Right.
people who like your friend out of Orem, right? You said Orem?
Yep.
That open their door and their hearts and go, you know what? Everybody deserves an opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's see. And apparently that was a huge stepping stone for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. And kind of the preface of what I'm doing where I'm at now is just that.
Mm-hmm.
Is once I've felt confident enough to go back into the body shop world, nobody would hire me. They knew my past, they knew where I was at, they knew what I had been doing. It's such a small community. It was, no, thanks, sorry. And I did it to myself. That led us down the path to me opening my own business. Because in essence, I couldn't get a job. Nobody, you're just exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Society says, you have a past. We know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, that's
you're
what
gonna,
they
You're
see.
gonna do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and we were lucky enough to there again have some people step up and
Believe in you.
put us into a position that we were able to start the business 10 years ago now.
Wow.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's really great.
I like how you expanded your vision. I really do like that. So no one will hire me to do what I really do love to do.
Yeah.
So how can I get out of the box and step into something different? And it's like, well, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can open up our own place,
Yeah.
and then to be blessed with the right people to say, hey, if this is what you want to do, we believe in you as well. Let's help you get going.
Absolutely.
Because you could have thrown the flag up right then and there too and gone right back into the addiction going, well, what choice do I have now?
Anyway.
Would have been easy.
Yeah, extremely easy.
Would have been easy.
And that's a lot of, not all of them, but there is a majority of the people where that happens to them because it is easier to fall back into that same life,
Yeah.
Instead of fighting. And that happens just not
That
even
is
with addiction.
one
That
of the
happens
reasons-
with
yeah.
everybody. There's people who cannot stand their flipping job. They hate going to work every day, but yet they don't have enough of that self-confidence to go, what if I pull out of here? What if I go do something or start up? And you're starting to see it though.
Yeah.
You're starting to see more. Now there are people who, our government seems to be handing a shitload of money out to people.
That's what I was just going to say.
But
if you have a desire and a want, and spend a little bit of time, put a plan together,
yeah,
there's money out there for you. the private sector, the government. I love a really good friend of mine, Steve McFerrin, has a saying: the answer is always no unless you ask.
Oh yeah.
100% of the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, that's his call tag, and I really, you know, that's a very true statement.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and there is people who are willing to help, and also, if you believe in yourself enough to, that, again, this is just my belief. You guys don't have to agree with it, but God starts placing people in front of you. I mean, that's kind of how this show got started. You know, I mean, I started speaking about it at the beginning of 2020, and COVID hit, and yeah, I kept thinking there's something else, and started thinking about podcasts. Heard a podcast, never even watched a podcast.
Right.
Started listening to podcasts, going, gosh, these things are kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, and started talking to people about it, and was at a ribbon cutting one day and ran into a guy that I know, and he goes, hey, I got a buddy that has a radio station. Oh, cool, I'll connect you. And we connected, and things didn't go so good. A couple months down the road again, hey, did you connect with it? And well, there was some issues. Oh, let me connect you again. Everything's cool. And all of a sudden this relationship started, and here I am in a nice studio. I mean, a
Absolutely.
beautiful studio, and
awesome.
we're still working on getting more things thanks to our sponsors, because our sponsors are helping us get there. But yeah, it's like all the pain and all the crap and everything that we went through to lead us to this, but also to have that belief in myself going, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. And you know, now this is my therapy. I go to therapy every Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have 2 sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. You know, because I get to be with people like yourself who get to share their story, and it helps me understand a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's for those of us that get to be involved. It's a whirlwind of emotion.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Definitely got to talk about something else.
Please do.
That is really prevalent.
Okay.
And that is the cravings. The
Good point.
What 15 years later, I will have a nightmare, a dream, and I'll be out 100% real life in this. Be out running amok, running from the cops, and it will be so real.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up and it's like, thank God.
Yeah.
That I'm in my bed and that was a dream, because that was real. That was real life.
Yep.
It's still, to this day, I still have those.
Yeah.
So for those of you out there that have that, and recognize it's the devil working on you to get you back into your addiction.
Yep.
Don't, just understand that that's for those of us that have been sober for quite a while. Mm-hmm. It's still a thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy. I wake up in a pool of
I bet.
sweat and just take a minute, say a prayer. Thank you for where I'm at, what I've got, what I'm doing, the choices I'm making.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, Kendall, because my original co-host, she relapsed after 6 years.
Yeah.
Nothing extremely bad, but she relapsed, and a couple times even after that. But I was on the phone with her yesterday, and she's telling me, how great things, and of course she's upset with herself for falling backwards after 6 years, but she knows she's on the right path, and she knows there was a reason behind it, because it's helped put her in a higher place, a better place.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that you brought that up, just for the fact that, somebody could be clean and sober for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
It's a battle for those who have battled with addiction. It's going to be a battle until the end of their life.
Yeah.
It's never over, because she told me she thought, 6 years.
Yeah.
I can probably have a sip of wine.
Yeah.
Right.
and
Your
my wife,
brain totally kidnaps you.
Yeah.
And that's
And-
your belief.
Janan did it after she was 13 months sober once, and she
Yep.
took a sip, and that sip right there, when she did it, completely turned our lives completely upside down. Just that one drink, it started right then
even
and there.
worse than it already
What it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's crazy. I'll be driving down streets here in Salt Lake, going to do a mobile estimate for somebody. We do, something we've done for our customers, and I'll be driving down the road, and I'll be drive by a house, and it was like, maybe I should just pull in there and see if they're still
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 dealing.
Yeah, still dealing. And it's like, and then up on the east side, I wonder if they're still there, and luckily now it's an uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to get out of here. But there's that back in the back of your mind is like, I wonder if they had opened the door and let me in and get me high. And that doesn't go away. That's something that you have to recognize, and if you don't recognize it, you're going to fall into that trap.
Yeah, she will be driving by somewhere, and she will say, this place is really triggering for me right now. And it's triggering for me, because I remember times when I was out looking for her or something, and I found her, or the cops called me to come and get her because she was so freaking wasted. And, it happens to me as well. Not to the level like with you guys, but that trigger is still there. And I have to also work on shutting that out, because I have forgiven myself, and I have forgiven my wife for all the things that happened at that time. And if I allow those times to get back into me, then all this work I've done of forgiveness, it's gonna draw me back down.
Right.
That dark hole, that rabbit hole.
Yeah. The saying that I've lived by, if you live in the past, you never go forward.
Yeah.
And that's so easy to live in the past.
It is.
It's so easy to hold on to that and make yourself miserable, make the people around you miserable. So I congratulate you for that. That's awesome that you're able to do that.
Thanks. Yeah, every once in a while I use the saying, if you don't heal what has hurt you, you will bleed on those who didn't cut you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
That's a true
Absolutely.
statement. My mom told me once, a long time ago, 5-6 years ago, that my dad told her that I'm not the same Al. I've changed. And when she told me that, it bugged me at first. This was a while ago, like I said, 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I've come to realize during this battle that we've had, we're supposed to change.
Absolutely.
We're not supposed to stay the same person. It's not our journey.
No.
How would you like to wake up your whole life ever since you were able to have a driver's license and get in the same car the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Same color.
Ugh.
Eat the same food every single day. We change our environments, we change vehicles, we change our clothes, we change foods. Why the hell is it so hard for us to change ourselves?
Yeah.
Because change is happening. Hell, the weather changes daily.
Yeah.
The seasons change. Everything's a balance.
It is.
So, yeah. All right, guys,
Absolutely.
we're gonna stop for another quick commercial break, and we will be right back to wrap this thing up.
Good morning, this is Leticia with Computer Hospital. We are your computer repair experts for both PC and Mac. We are your community resource for all of your computer repair needs. What makes us different is that we want to fix your computer. We also do free diagnostics. We charge a flat rate labor, which means that you won't pay by the hour. All of our computer repair is done in-house with a fast turnaround time, and same-day service is also available. Feel free to stop by anytime without an appointment. We're located in Sandy at 8721 South State Street. Again, that's 8721 South State Street, or call us at 801-987-3993. Again, that's 801-987-3993. This is Leticia with Computer Hospital, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello there, this is Brad Neufeld with the Resilience Talk Network, and I would like to introduce to you Taffytown, one of our newest sponsors. Let me introduce you to Derek.
Hi, I'm Derek from Taffytown. We're proud sponsors of the Other Side of Addiction podcast. Taffytown is a family-owned and operated business still operating in the Salt Lake City area for over 100 years. We manufacture some of America's best saltwater taffy.
What makes Taffytown stand out from all of the others?
We have a unique recipe, a whipped-style recipe that incorporates egg whites, evaporated milk, real sea salt. It's a unique product that is flavorful, melts in your mouth, and the best part is we probably have a flavor for anyone's liking, a flavor for any reason, for any season. We have unique flavors like chicken and waffles, maple bacon, frosted cupcake. New this year was a pineapple ghost pepper flavor.
That's awesome. Where can people find out more about Taffytown and all of its products?
You can check all of this stuff out. All of our products are available for sale on Taffytown.com. We ship for free from our website, so all of our pricing on there is shipping included. Oftentimes we offer special promotions and discounts to our loyal customers, so do be sure to sign up for an account, and we look forward to seeing what we can do to make you smile with our taffy.
Where are you located?
We are currently located at 9813 South Prosperity Road in West Jordan, Utah, just at the foothills of the Copper Canyon mine.
Derek, taffy has always been a great gift to give. What are some of the creative ways Taffytown can help say thank you to others?
Yeah, if you're looking for gift ideas, whether to say thank you to friends or family, or maybe to your clients after such a difficult or successful year that you've had, you could look no further than to get a gift idea from Taffytown.com. We offer prepackaged gift boxes that say that it's saltwater taffy from the city of the Great Salt Lake, and it tells a little bit about the history of our community and making candy for so long. You can also do customized gifts to pick out just the right flavors or colors of candy for that special someone, and deliver even a personalized message in that box to them. So please feel free to check out Taffytown.com for any gift ideas this season.
Thank you so much, Derek. Please visit Taffytown.com, that's Taffytown.com, to find out more about the products and services that Taffytown offers. You won't be disappointed.
Do you know someone who's gambling with death due to an addiction? Do you know someone whose life is being turned upside down due to a loved one that's battling with addiction? Hi, I'm Al Richards. I am the host of the Other Side of Addiction podcast. I started the podcast due to my wife's battle with alcohol. Let's just say I became addicted to her addiction. Our podcast is helping people understand a little more about those who have battled addiction and those who are hurting from their addiction. Through raw vulnerability, we share stories that help uncover the root causes of addiction. Shame felt on both sides, matter of the conscious and subconscious mind, continued beliefs, and often confusing paths of recovery. We collaborate with real people and their stories, as well as licensed professionals, to help our audience gain a better understanding of addiction. You can find us on Resilience Talk Network. You can also find us on Facebook at Mr. Al Richards. That's Facebook at Mr. Al Richards. You can also find us on YouTube. Just look up the Other Side of Addiction podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Other Side of Addiction. Again, this episode is brought to you by Lift Up Concrete out of Kaysville. These guys are awesome. Wow, this has been good. I like the stuff that you've shared, Kendall. Thank you for opening up, being vulnerable, because a lot of people that have come on our show, well, not a lot, but a few people that have come on our show, they've shared for the very first time, and it's something that's not easy, to share out there in the world that, hey, this is who I used to be. It's not who I am today, but also look where I have taken my life, So you mentioned here right before our last commercial break, you can get hired on in the collision body shop world because it's small and people knew who you were, and they're like, yeah, we ain't giving you a chance. You stepped out of that bubble. You started your own, and 10 years in business now.
Yep.
And it just goes to show where life can take you after the addiction. And I'm almost pretty sure everyone that we've had on our show who has battled addiction, their life is like incredible right now. They're successful, Maybe they don't have their own business, but they're successful in whatever their why was for them.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely been an awesome journey. Not without complications, not without failures, not without not without the normal life. This is not peaches and cream by any means. But if you compare to where I was and where I am, it's amazing. Once you start down a path of good, the goodness will build every single day, and that's it. You got to take one day at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
And pretty soon after those 1 days, 15 years later, you have some confidence, but you still have those moments of weakness, but you have the confidence to continue. And we've been super blessed to have what we have and do what we do, and if you're an addictive person like I am, you got to find an addiction. You got to find something,
an alternative,
an escape, an out, an addiction of good, and they're out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we've always been involved with the off-road community.
Yeah, I've seen some of your pictures on Facebook,
and whatnot. So I've got involved with the off-road Baja team. I've been to Mexico. I've raced the Baja 1000. I've raced the Baja 500.
That's so cool. That's something I wanted to do when I was a teenager.
It's an addiction, and it's going fast off-road, going fast on-road. For me, is my out, my escape.
Yeah.
It's my adrenaline. For those of you who are got sober, or wondering if you're in a spot where you just don't know which way to go, find something you enjoy, pour your heart into it, because if you do that, then you're not going to have time to get high.
Yeah. Keeps your mind occupied,
Yeah.
right? It's I am a true believer that an idle mind is the devil's workshop, because it really is, because it starts telling you things, and as it tells you enough, you're gonna start believing it. And so as long as you keep your mind busy and occupied, it helps. It's like times when she was in rehab or even in jail. As hard as it was for me, gosh, I was doing everything I could just to keep my mind off of it as much as possible. And of course, a lot of it too, I had some of my own guilt trips, for nasty things that I said to her, or how I treated her, and things like that. So I had to do things to keep me occupied. And even to this day, getting up every morning and going to the gym, man, that's my frustration.
Yeah,
That's where I get my frustration out, because there will be times even that we're together and have a conversation that I can even get a trigger on things,
Right.
you know, from something that was just said, and that our brains work crazy, because it's like something that was back can be in front within a matter of a nanosecond.
Yeah.
You know, and it starts building on it. And I've even noticed at times where I'll start getting very irritated and very frustrated, and it's nothing that she's doing.
Yeah.
I'm blaming her,
Absolutely.
you know, and then I have to stop and take a deep breath and go, okay, wait a minute, it's not her, it's me that's causing this. It's not her.
Yeah.
And to be able to get up in the morning and go to the gym and just release that stuff that I need to release is huge.
Yeah.
Is huge for me, because I feel
Yeah.
like it helps keep our relationship strong and
Yeah.
fresh, because I'm able to release that and not hold that stuff in and hold it against her, because
Yeah.
I've done everything I can to let go of what has happened. Because like you even said, addicts, I mean, they'll find every reason they can to blame somebody just so they can use, you know, and I did the same on the other side. I was doing everything I could to blame her for the situation that was in,
Right.
you know, when it wasn't all her,
Right.
you know. So it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
So let everybody, did you have something, hun?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard a little voice come
I
out.
said, yep.
Oh, okay, you said yep.
Yep.
So we always like to give our guests an opportunity to share whether they have a book or whatever. So say the name of your company again. Let people know where you're at. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So our company is Lone Peak Collision Repair, 8062 South State in Midvale. You know, we have a family business. My wife and son run the office. I got demoted and put out in the shop by choice.
By choice?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There came a time when the insurance companies and whatnot, they're so hard to deal with, and whatnot, just, you know, just consumed me, and so I demoted myself and put me back out fixing cars where I'm good at, and I know what I'm, you know, that's I know we can do the great job out there, but yeah, family business. You know, check us out online. We're so blessed to have the work that we do and the things that we do and the fun that we have. We got the whole family involved in the off-road stuff now, and
That's cool.
and it's really super fun, and you know, healing the relationships of a lot of issues in the past is so rewarding. You know, that's if it's something to have one of you guys look forward to is healing a relationship that you've really messed up. It's worth the fight.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen overnight.
No,
it takes
no.
it takes time. Just
Some
like
years.
Just like becoming addicted to something, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't happen overnight. It took that time before it finally grabbed, and the healing part is the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Kendall, thank you again, man, for your
Yes,
time.
thank
Yeah.
Very grateful and blessed to have you on the show and being with us today and sharing your message and helping other people realize there is life after addiction.
Absolutely, 100%. There is definitely the other side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there something you would like to share with our audience? I mean, if you don't have anything, that's fine. But is there something that you would like to share with them before we sign off here?
But I think we've covered covered a lot, and I just want to thank you guys for having me on, and to reflect the past it helps you inside in internal healing. You know, like I say, you live in the past, you don't go forward, but you still got to remember the past and remember where you are and take day by day, step by step, and you can do it. Absolutely, you can do it.
Love it.
Yep.
Great piece to share. Okay, guys, thank you again for being with us today. Just a huge shout out to all you listeners. Thank you for all your support. Really, we're just growing. We're growing a lot quicker than what we really thought. I mean, I never realized that we would be where we're at today, and it's because of you guys out there believing in what we're doing. Also, a huge thank you to all our sponsors. I mean, you've heard me on past shows talk about all the many sponsors that we have who have come in and helped us out. We are just so blessed and grateful because it's helping us move forward to take this to a bigger level, and that's our goal, is to reach more people, to hear these stories, and to hopefully save somebody's life and help those on the other side understand addiction a lot more. So please keep sharing, let other people know about us, and please get on YouTube and Spotify and all those places, and please subscribe, because your subscriptions are really, really helping us. So thank you again to everybody, all our sponsors, all our guests co-hosts. Thanks, babe, for coming and being here. She's not going to be back because she's got a different job now, and I'm gonna miss having you come to the studio with me.
Me too.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed having you come out here with me every week. So we're going to leave you with this, as we do with every show. Remember, addiction is giving up everything for one thing. Recovery is giving up one thing for everything. We're out.